Hello. Hi guys. Hi. How are we? Thank you for the follow, Gameway330. Welcome on in. Welcome on in, everyone. We're back with more Apollo Justice Attorney Trilogy Dual Destinies episode 4. I hope so, because that's what I put. Nope. I hope so, because that's what I put in the tweet. Yes. Yes. Episode 4. Let's hop on right into it, shall we? The cosmic turnabout. Trial day 1. Trial day 1. Why is it? Okay. Alright, trial day 1, let's go. We just walked into court. We are defending. We didn't have any investigation thing, because I'm assuming that this courtroom is not gonna last. We're defending Solomon Starbuck. A defendant, he was a Hat 2 crew member and a mentor to the victim. We're defending an astronaut. The victim was our friend Clay. He was also an astronaut. And also Juniper Woods was here? Yeah, that's right. She was here to watch Apollo because she's got a big old crush on him. Athena's childhood friend, talented singer, and student council president. She's studying to be a judge. Right. Let's hop into it. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. What? What? What is he? Wait, why is his eye out? What? What? Wait, this is our first time seeing the 3D model of Apollo in this case. Why is he have an eye patch? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Thank you, please ask. Dude, please do ask why he has that. Excuse me, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? Dude, you can't ask someone... Dude, you can't ask a person what happened to their eye in the middle of court. Don't! I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I don't think he believes you. Are you sure? I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Sweetie. Sweetie. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just the sty. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Your Honor, I got it when I was murdering my friend. Aw, dang. Aw, dang, wait. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well. And the prosecution? The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Oh. Okay. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Girl. This early in the trial, you're breaking the shackles, huh? Oh, hey, there's the bomb box. That's funny. The prosecution is now ready. Oh, there's Taka. Well, it didn't take him long this time. Nope. What's up with Blackwell? Honey, what's up with you? Your friend's dead, and you've got an eye patch, and whatever. Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
This is such an awkward trial. No wonder it got blown up. I'll do it. Yeah, you will? What an unexpected surprise. This time, I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You think, Judge? They're being weird. Your Honor, can we conduct a therapy session for the defense and the prosecution? I think they need it, Your Honor. You both seem different somehow, as if this trial was a life-altering experience. Athena, give them therapy, please. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would. Hello. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, that famous federal research facility of all things, related to astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was sent to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. My word! 2 bombs? How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. It almost sounds like he didn't do it. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat-1 rocket 7 years ago. 7 years! It's always 7 years! As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? Nope, there he is. Mankind's hope for the future. I've got to make it back alive. That's the Hat-1 miracle. Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away. I can't read that underneath the text. It says a moving and thrilling documentary in 3D. Wow. They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. A 3D documentary. Fun. We've got a real space pioneer in court today. Yeah, being arrested for murder. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah, yes. The victim was one Mr. Clay Tarrant, a subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant, and so he was sent not into space, but to the universe with which we mortals cannot see. Clay. Oh, Apollo. He's really going through it. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. There's a bomb in it. It's going to explode later, Your Honor. It's covering up some pretty important evidence. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you ask so nicely. It's your coffin. Ah! Have mercy on me! I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. Oh, I'm sure we will. Phew! I feel like I just lost 50 years off of my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Athena, you can't say that. Inner monologue, Athena! Inner monologue! Enough jabbering. He whistles for Fulbright to show up. That is so like he does with the hawk. He does that with, oh my god, that is so funny. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. Detective Fulbright. Very well then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. On it! First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Okay. Cosmos Space Center, Gaiaxa Space Program, 21st Century Exploration, Let's Go to Jupiter, Launchpad 1, Space Museum, 7 floors. Here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building. Oh, wow. Take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. Okay, we got the launch pad, the elevator. Okay. Fulbright and Black will definitely kiss when nobody else is watching. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is the square building, and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it! The incidents took place in Launchpad 1 and the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Alright, Space Center diagram added to the court record. The murderer was Apollo Justice. Aw, dang. Why is he blaming me? I'm not even the defendant. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was sent to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom, boom. What happened to Apollo's eye? He won't say. He's being angsty about it. He won't say. The judge asked and he's like, I'm fine. And Blackwell's being weird too, so no idea. Just before the rocket was sent to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom, boom! One on the 2nd floor of the Space Center's main building and 1 in Launchpad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at the time. the two of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the two was found stabbed to death. Okay. A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yup. Thinking he'd sabotage the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh no. Oh my. Is that a knife in the victim's chest? No. No, it's a screwdriver. What is that over there next to him? I'm sure that'll be important. Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dream. We couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Why is Clay missing one of his gloves? I'm sure that's important. Utility knife added to the court record. The victim's blood was found on its blade, but no fingerprints could be lifted. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. Okay. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints, I guess. Now, there's just one thing I'd like to inquire about. One more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? I'm surprised the judge is actually asking, like, useful questions for once. He's actually being useful. Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. Judge gained brain cells between cases. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the 2nd floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? Huh! That one was on the rocket itself! It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record. Okay, bombing report added to the court record. The explosion sparked a fire on the 2nd floor of the main building and the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. The trial's just started and we're already in a bind. You can get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination's for, right? What the two astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. Alright. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom, boom. Oh. I was gonna press that, but okay. Fine. Hold it! You can really see... With the iPad, you can really see, like, the little tufts in the back of Apollo's hair, like, more. It's cute. He's cute. What? Who said that? How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait. What were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? You can't call Apollo gross, it's Pride Month. You can't be mean to him, it's Pride Month. Ha ha ha! I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I'll go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the 3rd floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. Evacuation report. The bombs went off despite tight security. Police officers and Wright police who had been standing by gave the evacuation instructions. Power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. Police officers and Wright police gave evacuation instructions immediately. There was a power outage and the affected areas remained dark. The security system switched over to emergency power and continued to work. Evacuees moved to the basement shelter. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yup, that's right. One on the second floor, one by the rocket. Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives? Yeah, that makes no sense. Huh? What are you talking about? That's stupid. If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Stupid. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Does he now? The astronaut has astrophobia. Okay. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. He's been to space. What? And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. It makes no sense. 1, homie's a famous astronaut. 2, he's been to space. Do we have that? We don't have it. But he had a movie, a documentary about his trip into space. What? That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. Okay. What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. Okay. So, that legit means nothing. He could have been anxious about anything. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Okay. Rumor has it, it threatened to crash a number of times as well. Okay, I get that then. You could have said that first. That makes more sense than the... That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck. Sure. Then why would he agree to go again in the first place?
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Soul Starbuck, Space Pioneer Extraordinaire. I guess. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. What, so that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. Now, I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 and 2.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was only the 2 of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2. Ugh. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence!
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Fingerprint locks for... They gotta take off their gloves and put them back on. Not gonna lie, I genuinely think it's Fulbright. His whole demeanor here is strange, and also Apollo wasn't allowed to see the crime scene at all. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and... the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Okay, Yuri's the murderer. Solved it. Then, doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. Launchpad 1 door lock. This is how we're getting all our evidence, is just by pressing Fulbright. We weren't allowed to investigate, so we gotta press through to get all this evidence. So, while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. What do you mean he couldn't have been responsible for the explosives? He could have had a remote control. Yeah, and they are. Oh, it's ridiculous. One of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it! In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hope. Full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. What? That doesn't make any sense, though. To make it look like a rescue when homie's got a knife through his chest, like... But, whatever.
Hold it!
I called the Dark Ages law lore again. And who was the first to find the victim? Let me guess, the defendant? Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos. Oh, and Detective Candace Arm. One of them was a detective? And she died too. She dies... Well, she's dead already at this point, but she's going her trials right after this one. Yup, Detective Arms specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant, because her body's actually in that big box over there right now. That's funny. That's interesting. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective? I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Wait, so Candace was already dead? Yeah, that was her first case in this game. She was, It is your what to win this case? Yeah, remember, and she was like, she was already dead. She was killed by Ted Tenate, and he stuffed her body in the bomb box. She was dead at this point. She's in the box that's over by the witness stand. Justice Donna. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerge from the bowels of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. Candace Storm, dead as hell. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Aww. It looks like he just wanted to help his friend. Aww. Among Us. This is literally Among Us. Now I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. Which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. Where's the knife, though? What? What? So you're telling me he stabbed him, took the knife out, brought him out on his shoulder, threw him on the ground, and then stabbed him again? What? Order? Order, I say. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Video showing the defendant and victim's escape from the corridor to the boarding lounge. Apollo? What happened to Athena being the one to win the case? This is Apollo did this, is taking this case. How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Tarrant was still alive here? And that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? All to look good in front of Woods. This is the Woods case. Yes. This is, the one... This is the one that she was in the gallery witnessing. It's the one right before she gets accused of bombing. It's, Clay. Clay is the victim, and that's Apollo's bestie that he kept dropping mentions of. You know, his bestie. They were BFFs. Besties. He's not caught up. The murderer in the last case. Any guesses who that was, Matt, since you weren't here? Isn't it possible that Mr. Tarrant was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. Was it the teacher? You know it. You know it, bub. Why, I believe you're right. Socrates? One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. It was the smile. Let me go look up the sprite. It's scary, Matt. It's scary. What do you mean? Fulbright. Explain it to Justice Donna. You got it! Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were all alone in the spaceship? That's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. Yeah. Because he seems like a good guy. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well, Get him, Athena. Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? Oh my OMG, that's mortifying. Yeah, he is scary. It's just, there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes! You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds? 4 seconds now, Athena. After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your baldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh! Oh! You're serious? Ready? We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning there's something missing. Like they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. Something they didn't explain. Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution is yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way, what is it that the prosecution has failed to explain? The motive for murder? Why the body is moved? Well, he explained the motive, I guess. Well, no, he didn't explain the motive for murder. He explained the motive for the bombing. But I guess why the body was moved is pretty important. Because why would he move the body? They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. Don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Fulbright. Explain it to our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? You've gotta be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds, saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion. There was a third explosion? What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside this witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. We use that to transport the activated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. What? One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Before you utter a word, note that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbucks' pockets. The detonator. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble brain that he is. That makes no sense. No! Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. Ah! Did he just kill me? Justice Dono. Open your eyes and see the truth. I can't. One of them has a boo-boo. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it. You'll believe in your client, come what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has gotta be a trap. It's like Blackwell's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seems like he was waiting for me to bring up the body-moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve, too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan, too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut, Solomon Starbuck. Is he just gonna keep sighing on the witness stand? Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
No. We didn't draw another sprint for you. It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is he gonna be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. I did it. I killed Clay. Lock me up. I didn't kill him. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh my god. Oh no. He's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how I rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago? Huh? That was Blackwell sighing? I was wondering who it was. Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. I didn't kill him. Oh, I swear it. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? I don't know. Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet? Mission Command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. My helmet. My oxygen tank. Oh my god. So stupid sprite. Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. Yeah. Oh my god, he's gonna die. Someone save him. Someone save him. He needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Someone kiss him. But Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. I will not kiss him. Fine. Jeez. Mr. Starbuck, can you please explain the inconsistency in your statement? About how you use the middle level elevator. I, was nervous, and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I accidentally, took a different route, I think. In my perfect world, only beautiful people shall live. Not including this red pencil. Wow, dang. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, accuracy is paramount in court. Sometimes a great leader must make sacrifices. My escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably... With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. Okay. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? Use the ladder with no hands? Okay, bub. That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. No, you didn't. You dirty liar. Luckily, the fire hadn't escaped the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Terran here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. He's making me want to sigh. Only 3 statements in a testimony. It's so silly. Is this like the shortest testimony we've had? Is this one? Anyway, he's a liar. He's... This is ridiculous.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue? No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. What? For real? The truth, Mr. Starbuck. Grr! The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape. Okay, then how'd you do it? Starbuck definitely did it. Dirty murderer.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth. Now. Well, I killed him, you see. Engineer, where is the engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. Evacuate immediately. What the? He's flying the coop. Help! I'm caught on the ceiling. Help? Anyone? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yeah, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness. Yikes. Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Prosecutor Blackwell, please. Please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is, ironically, terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh? I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? Was he drugged? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember, because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? What is his haircut? Oh my god, it is awful. Order! Order in the court! We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man. He threw him. Did he throw him down? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints. Justice dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Was it? Did it look... okay. Oh my. I see. And then the defendant could climb down the ladder with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you're capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Was there marks on the body? Really? Oh, thanks? Ah! Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. Is it damaged from the fall? It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. I would drop the body down. Wait a minute, it was me. How could you? How could you kill Apollo's bestie? That's messed up. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
He killed his best friend? That's so messed up. During Pride Month? Dang, that's messed up. Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its marks on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Donna. It includes the latest technological devices, and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space, so falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Space Boy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Gah! Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. Okay. Hey, this report is pretty I'm wondering something. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. After the incident, the victim's tank was ruptured and the remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was 80% full. Tanks were functioning properly at the time. I wonder... Oh, that's not... I'm wondering if that's not Starbuck carrying Clay. I wonder if that's Clay carrying Starbuck. Oh, that changes things. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Oh, yeah, I already read it. Let's see. I already read it and I figured it out. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that... okay, I did this myself! This changes everything. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Space Boy. Yeah? Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. Sorry, I've been working on my acting. That's not a half-bad thought. Mr. Starbuck? Prosecutor Blackwell got to him good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Stop. Stop it. Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh. Yeah, Apollo? You know Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you'd never give up on your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? Oh. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay? You're wasting your breath. Ah! Ah! Clay kind. That's what I'm saying. Like, shame he died. Cause why is he kinda? That's what I said when he first, when his little profile first showed up. Why is he kinda? Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Like I'd be at that funeral, you know. Right. We'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. After all that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul. I'm on fire. I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on, Blackwell, say it. Say 1. 1. Yay! Lift off. What is happening? Even his initials are expressed, which I think might be space related. Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. Alright, this is great, guys, but he's still gonna get arrested for murder. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? Ugh, can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mystery game devs crying when they can't make the theme of the game hope versus despair. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. Oh, wait. Oh, that was cute. Oh. Show the photo again. I wanted to look at it longer. That was adorable. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've gotta destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people at Launch Pad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. You didn't see the photo? It was Apollo and Clay, and they were adorable. Now let's see, about this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in the Launch Pad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Were they kissing? Yeah, they were. They were making out. It was crazy. I was like, wow. Enough of this farce. Your baldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Passionately. Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now. It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terran's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. Okay, he's just gonna solve it for me. I already figured this out, Apollo. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor. Right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction.
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction? Oh. The problem- oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean it's wrong? The problem is this part here.
Take that!
Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
What is going on? I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it's the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
OMG, you were in prison, get over it. It's his only personality trait. I'm gonna bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You'd better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you could explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank gotta be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what should I be asking is not, why did the oxygen level increase, but what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yeah, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. They were going the other way. The victim was carrying the defendant. The tanks were damaged. The victim was carrying the defendant. That's why he can't remember anything. He was passed out. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. It was what? Order! Order! Mr. Justice, You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen levels can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%.
That's right! There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing.
This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me. It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. Gah! There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements?
Let's see, the two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score! Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand? Oh. Oh. Oh, there he is. I have an announcement, everyone. What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here. But please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Explode? There it is. Right back to the beginning of the game. A bomb? Now? Ah, everybody run! I don't want to die. No, everybody's panicking. Whoa, crazy! There's a bomb!
Silence.
Headless chickens was a death wish. The lot of you. Calm yourselves afore all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. What about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And Apollo, now's not the time for this. And who'll carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow up the truth forever. Apollo, sweetie, what is wrong with you? Get out. Nope, there's the photo. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Oh.
Apollo!
Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Oh, this is when he saves her from the rebels. Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no! Not that way! Let her die! Oh, and he got caught in the explosion. That's why he was all beat up. Oh. Oh. Some friend you are, Athena. Oh. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. Athena the goat. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. He's had it rough, apparently. He gets something happens to his eye, and then he gets caught in bomb explosions. His friend's dead. They're like, Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. We managed to clear Miss Woods' name. And then Apollo died. But she was what? What? We're just gonna move past that. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tenate. And then he died. Rest in peace, Apollo. December 19th, 3:21 p.m. Wright Anything Agency. Oh. Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Are we Phoenix? Yep. Athena Sykes, a new lawyer at my agency. She studied psychology while she was in Europe. Apollo Justice, the lawyer at my agency who was attacked during the court bombing trial. He's currently recovering at the hospital. Tracy Wright, my daughter, who also happens to be an aspiring magician. I adopted her 8 years ago. Clay Tarrant, the victim in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a close friend of Apollo's. Juniper Woods, Athena's childhood friend. I defended her when she was on trial for the courtroom bombing incident. Solomon Starbuck, the defendant in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a mentor to the victim. Simon Blackwell, a prosecutor and prison inmate. He can manipulate witnesses through the power of suggestion. Bobby Fulbright, the detective assigned to this case. He led the evacuation effort at the Space Center after the bombing incident. And Candace Arm, a detective who specialized in bomb cases. She was on detail at the Space Center, one of the first to find the body. Apollo. Oh my god. Yeah, poor guy. Being attacked by Tenate like that on top of all his other injuries. And now he's emo. Apollo is resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. Aw. Aw. Tracy. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. Wait, when did he get the cape? It's a jacket, Matt. It's a jacket, and I think it's somebody's jacket. I think he's wearing somebody's jacket. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. Oh. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Oh. Alright, enough of this, people. This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you. You're the only one who's crying, Athena. We don't care about Apollo. We hope he dies. Wow, that's so messed up of you to say, Phoenix Wright. Technicalities. Look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what exactly? Apollo Space Center case, of course. As no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Come on, Athena. You should know I hate that guy. Good. Now that that's settled, let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? Better not be running the whole way. There she goes. Better go catch up. You take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm gonna bake some cookies and fill up my magic panties for you. Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. I can always count on Athena to perk everybody up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back. Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Athena for that too. Alright, you two. Let's be careful out there. Trucy, how would you like a job? Now that we're down one lawyer. So sad he died. RIP. December 19th, detention center visitor's room. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous even I've heard of him.
That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago.
You seem to know quite a bit about him. Now I'm all excited to meet the man. Wow. Yeah, that's so messed. During Pride Month, you're happy that Apollo's dead? That's so messed up. It's Pride Month, man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix, right? Apollo's mentor, right? Yeah, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it.
Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright have got you covered.
And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Yeah, I had canon Apollo as a pan furry, so if you hate Apollo, you hate those two demographics. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere?
Huh? You mean other than at your trial? I don't think so.
I guess so. My mistake. That was weird. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously gotta stop depressing himself.
Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing you said about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right?
Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. Guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash phoenix. Ah, yeah! Here we go! 3, 2, 1! To the stratosphere and beyond! Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. You gave me confidence. Is that really all it takes? So you have no memory at all of the incident. I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula.
Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial?
You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It is true I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know. Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle? It must have been a terrifying experience. I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before a launch. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a completely different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know.
But the tranquilizers were found in your system.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. But I don't know why. I'm done for. Is he a for real astronaut? Yeah, he's a for real astronaut. If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you? Exactly. That's what I thought. It must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it.
Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in your pocket?
Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small? Like about the murder weapon, for example? That knife, I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits? Utility kits? Yeah, staff who work on machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. It has the victim's blood on it from a set of utility tools used by Space Center techs. Tell me about the Hat One miracle. As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, loose control column. The heat shield came off as we were entering this atmosphere. I thought I was a goner, but I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer. No wonder they dubbed it the Hat One miracle. It's a miracle he made it back. Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. But the vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. Oh my god. The darkness just goes on and on forever and ever and ever without end. There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone, with nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. Okay? Oh my god. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up in space.
So what's space like? With the experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission?
What? No way. Of course not. Even now, I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I want to shake off the Earth's gravity at escape velocity and spin around weightless. That sounds pretty mortifying, Dudesicle.
But you have to admit, it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid?
I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is a man's final frontier, an unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there, waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, huh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. The victim, Clay Terran, he was kind of like your protege, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a big exaggerated deal like master and apprentice or anything like that, but Clay did think of me as his mentor. The mentor and the protege. What a combination they must have been. With his encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now...
Clay must have been very encouraging, huh?
Yeah, it's funny, really. Whenever I'd hear him shout, "You're fine!" I always got the feeling everything really was gonna be just fine.
You're fine? Apollo says I'm fine, and you're fine all the time, too. And I always feel encouraged, too, whenever I hear him shout it.
Aw. Yeah, Clay and Apollo were best buds. They used to come visit the Space Center a lot, ever since they were high school kids. One day, out of the blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around the Space Center so much they were like a part of the staff. One time during Zero-G training, I started to panic a little bit. And the two of them took turns shouting, "You're fine!" over the radio. That's why he's called Apollo, because space people. It's all connected. It's all space. It always has been. It was a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So I'm fine and You're fine! We're like Apollo and Clay's secret phrases, huh? That's adorable. That is so cute. I wish I could ask Apollo more about Clay and their relationship now. Okay, Phoenix.
Speaking of Clay, how do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder?
Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. But that prosecutor said the dark night sky isn't half bad through barred windows.
You're fine! Solomon Soul Starbuck is fine. Everything's gonna be alright. Huh? You sound like Apollo Justice. And Athena Sykes is fine. Come on, Mr. Wright, you too.
Do I really have to? Phoenix Wright is fine.
You gotta do Apollo's thing. I can't hear you.
Phoenix Wright is fine.
We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck.
Athena's the best. I love Athena.
Believe in your innocence and have faith in us.
Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly, and that's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I'll put my faith in you. And I vow to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. It sure feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then that we're all fine. It's true, Phoenix. We love self-love. We love self-love.
Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get our investigation of the Space Center started. Pronto.
Good idea. Let's go.
Yay! We're going to space!
December 19th. Cosmos Space Center entrance. Wow. I was wondering what kind of place the Space Center would be. It almost looks like an amusement park of the future.
Yeah. Did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motive it's got going.
Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program?
Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, what is Gaia supposed to stand for? Galaxy?
If that were it, then the whole thing would be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have abbreviated to GAXA, or even Gaia. Gyarados.
I guess so. Why no? Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y.
This exchange is beginning to feel oddly like deja vu.
Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility. It's also a tourist attraction.
Oh. A tourist attraction? Don't make me laugh. It's a monument to the human race. I don't know. Galactic scooter, full speed ahead! Whoa. Ah, oh. Oh, it's Yuri Cosmos. Yikes! Who's this geezer and what's he want? Okay, Athena. Look upon me and look well. Behold the great power of space science. Pardon me, but you are... My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center, the center of the cosmos.
Boss, that was pretty groan-inducing.
Athena hates old people. Base. If this person is the Space Center's director, then that means... You two are cool. Thanks, Matt. Old people are cool. Thanks. Appreciate it. Really lift up my spirits.
Aha! So you were one of the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you?
And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all of space and time to discover the body. But this talk of the incident... Are you by any chance the space police? Yes, I am the space police. I really do try to get. Nice to know my efforts are appreciated. Oh my god. You can't tack the word space onto just any old thing, you know. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We're here to investigate his case.
Oh, and we're Earth lawyers, by the way.
Ah, I see. Yes, I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. I trust you are appropriately grateful. Now go ahead. Have at it.
I can already tell he's gonna be nothing but trouble.
Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll see what trouble really is. Let's just be professional and ask him about when he found the body, okay?
Meow, meow, meow. Yuri Cosmos!
So, as director, what do you do here at the Space Center specifically? Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space development in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going for the sake of mankind. Don't listen to them, Cat. You're awesome. Thanks, Matt. I am awesome. I'm fine. I believe I used the word specifically in my question. Attention all personnel! To your break stations, prepare for break!
Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important manner.
That is exactly right. Because I am an important man, my manner is important. It's in the word manner.
Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm.
Well, there's bound to be some place like that, here in the boundlessness of space. What's that? You want to know what it is that makes me important specifically? Very well. I will tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat 1 project. You may proceed to be appropriately impressed. Now go ahead. Have at it. I might be more impressed if I knew what he did for it specifically. Could you tell us what you know about the incidents from the other day? I refuse. What? Explaining is a job for common folk, not the director of the Center of the Cosmos. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom.
What? So does that mean you'll be taking the stand tomorrow?
That is correct. I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind. I'm not sure if he really understands what being a witness is all about.
Looks like Director Cosmos is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about.
And let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open up about. Alright, tell me about Hat 1 then. I have a feeling the Hat 1 project was sabotaged. Yeah, it feels like it. The Hat 1 was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home? I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folk like you. Very well. I will impart to you the complete story of the Hat 1 project. Thank you very much. Hat 1's noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid, and Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat 1 reached its planned orbit. By me. From where it landed, the Hope probe from where it launched the Hope probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the Hope probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat 1 returned safely to Earth.
That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred, right?
Correct, and it truly was a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie. As for the Hope probe, it did eventually arrive safely at its destination. It obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth but a few days ago. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Taryn's murder. Regrettably, we've had no time to inspect the samples due to everything that has occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of other countries by several years. That's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't just a loud-mouthed braggart after all. In the golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. That is the greatest achievement in the history of this space center. The public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential. A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big. Our endeavors with the moon rock live on in our work with those asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hopes and dreams for the future upon mankind once again. That is my mission as the man who stands at the center of the cosmos.
I hear there's a lot of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there.
What? Bite your tongue. It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It's all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for my illustrious mission. With the recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it. I guess even a space program has to watch its budget. By the way, you seem awfully knowledgeable about this kind of thing, Athena.
Huh? Oh, well, you know, I thought I'd better brush up for the case.
That's suspicious. Is that so? Well, I will be on my way. As you can see, I am a very busy and very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine! Max battle speed and engage! That thing is surprisingly fast. I guess we better get going too.
You bet. Let's make it so.
Athena Sykes is fine! Huh? What was that all about?
I thought I'd better get fired up twice as much to make up for Apollo being gone.
Oh. Athena is a nerd, so are you. Space nerds better Doctor Who.
For starters, I thought I'd imitate him.
So you were doing a voice workout, huh?
Yep. You have to push your voice up from the pit of your stomach. Hold it. There's a contradiction in the witness's statement.
You're really seriously about this? Objection! You are lying! The true culprit is the judge! I knew it. What? Then who's going to hand down the verdict?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So, what do you think we should do next?
Oh, that's right.
What is it, Athena?
I just remembered I forgot to go running today.
I was so taken up with what happened to Apollo, it slipped my mind. That wasn't what I was asking.
Boarding lounge.
What is that outside the window? Cosmos Space Center boarding lounge. So this is where Mr. Taryn was murdered?
Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see that diagram the police made again. Right now we're in the main building here on the right side on the 3rd floor.
They're in space.
Clay and Mr. Starbuck fled here from Launchpad 1 after the explosion.
You there! No admittance without express permission.
We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We've come to investigate.
Sorry, nobody gets in without permission. Not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me. So, Detective Fulbright is here, huh? Yeah, he's in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him and then we'll talk.
Leave it to me. I'm great at getting intel out of Detective Fulbright. Let's see, what trick should I use on him today?
I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid.
So, to get to the launch pad 1 corridor, we just have to go through that door with the blue rocket on it, I think.
Wait, that door. It looks awfully familiar.
G'day there, boss.
He did not do it.
This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad.
That explains it.
The fingerprint system has been deactivated, so I think we can just pass through. Now, come on, let's go.
I don't know any context, I'm just saying things. He didn't do it. My Fulbright. Oh, yo! He's a little robot guy. Look at the little robot. Look at the little robot guy. He's so cute. So this is it, huh? This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape.
Yep. This is the only thing connecting launch pad 1 with the main building.
I see police tape down at the other end. Guess we won't be looking at the launch pad.
After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke.
And the launch pad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them.
Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Hey, I think that's him over there.
What should I do? Which path is the path of justice?
He seems to be lost. That's funny. This corridor is a straight shot.
Huh? Ah, it's you lawyer people. Welcome to the Space Center. Enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing? We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share?
Boss, if he acts all reluctant to give us information, we hit him with the whatever shall we do act. I'm sure he'll fall for it. Got it.
Are we trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something? Info on the case, huh? Alright. I'll gladly share some with you.
Huh? What just happened?
Detectives and lawyers seeking truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me, you info bandits. I am in a generous mood today.
I don't know, there's something weird about Detective Fulbright today.
Well, we need information, so let's run with it.
If you say so.
Even in space, safety first. Detective Fulbright, could you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? To be fair, he was acting off during the trial. To be fair, everyone was acting weird during the trial. Even Blackwell was being weird. And then Apollo's got something going on with his eyeball or whatever. Everyone's being weird.
There's an officer on guard and we can't get in. Oh, whatever shall we do?
That's an easy one. I'll let them know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if you need it, a month even. Shall I have some snacks delivered? One of my men gives a mean neck rub. Like he should be going, no, in something justice. No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Phoenix, do you know him? Phoenix, have you met him before? Because as far as I'm aware, only Apollo and Athena have met him. What do you mean? You've met him?
Detective Fulbright is acting sickeningly sweet. It's kinda gross, actually. Do you think he hit his head or something?
Who knows? Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier. Oh no, I dropped my thing. Gumshoe got him into police gala. He met Fulbright there. We were here at the Space Center at the time of the you were here at the Space Center at the time of the incidents, weren't you, Detective? That's right. I was here on a security assignment.
The police are required to secure rocket launches now? I didn't know that.
Yes, well, you know us. To serve and protect. The explosions occurred while I was here on duty, so I started leading the evacuation. He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened? Everyone's being so weird. Of course! A bomb went off on the second floor of the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launchpad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and the employees to evacuate the shelter. The shelter? That's right, there's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center. It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like.
So, where were you when the first bomb went off?
I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion, and the stairs on the 2nd floor were destroyed, so we couldn't go that way.
Then wasn't it impossible to get down to the basement shelter?
No, we lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. It was a folding ladder, so it wasn't very stable, but at least it reached the ground. After I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter.
Wow, what an ordeal. But climbing down an emergency ladder sounds kind of fun.
Thank you for your answers, Detective. They were very helpful. Just a moment! I have some more information to share with you! But don't tell Prosecutor Blackwell, okay?
Wow, and Prosecutor Blackwell usually has you on a short leash, too.
Well, never mind that. Haha, I thought you should know that there was a witness. Could you tell us more about this witness? Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the 4th floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through a window in the 3rd floor lounge.
So, she was looking into the crime scene from the outside?
That's right! It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know what she saw exactly yet, though.
You don't? But that's the most important thing of all.
She? Ha ha ha! Don't you worry. I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She should still be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her. A 4th floor employee, huh? Alright. Thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Already claimed her. So you guys don't even know what she looks like. What? You guys don't even know who she is.
Gee, you sure are being cooperative, Detective. A little too cooperative, even.
Yes, well, actually, something you can't talk about. Yes, something like that. Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about me. Let's at least wait till we see her in her personality. Well, I'll be on my way now. For as far as you hate a lot of women in this game. Hey, like, as far as we know, maybe she doesn't even want you guys, okay? We don't even know her yet, okay? What was that all about?
Something is definitely going on. I'm going to get it out of him the next time I see him.
Okay. Not so sure he'll talk about it, though. Well, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge. There's not a single person out there who doesn't walk. Well, but like, what if she's like, you know, what if she's like, you know, you two. Detective Fulbright has granted you permission to investigate. He also said I should bring you some snacks or give you a neck rub if you'd like.
That's alright, but thank you for the offer.
Jane, what are you on about? Thank you for the offer. Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. Alright, let's see. Where's that diagram again? Fair enough, I guess. So, this lounge is on the 3rd floor of the main building. And according to Apollo, this is where he believes a third party killed his friend.
Well, let's stop the recap and start looking for traces of this third person then.
Oh, Matt. You read my mind, Athena. We'll make that our first priority. There's just one problem, though. This room. It's just so big.
Don't worry. We can use this to help us.
A Space Center pamphlet for tourists?
Yep. Picked it up at the entrance. The maps inside should come in handy. Let's see. Yep. Here it is. This is the door we went through to talk to Detective Fulbright.
Oh yeah, that's the door with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Space Center pamphlet, a pamphlet for visitors to the Space Center. It includes a diagram of the boarding lounge.
No more excuses. Let's track down the third person.
Wait, there's just one more thing. What's that strange creature moving outside the window?
Oh, boss, it's just the holographic image. You didn't think it was real, you idiot.
Yeah, I knew that. That's a relief.
There should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's what it says in the pamphlet anyway.
The only reason you're so eager to start is so that you can push that button, isn't it?
And what's wrong with that? Let's just look for the button while we're looking for clues.
Alright, fine. Let's get investigating. At first glance, it looks like a peaceful landscape, but then there's that creature. Phoenix is terrified of that creature.
Didn't the Hope probe go to some planet? Maybe this is what its surface looked like.
I don't know, I think it would have made the news if they discovered a creature like that.
It did make quite a bit of news, though, when the probe came back.
Yeah, but the Hope probe didn't even go to a planet, it went to an asteroid. It's a big rock kind of thing. Even aliens can't live there. Stupid. Stupid Athena. The creature is the witness. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I pray. She's so beautiful. Still want it. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is its torture device. But I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity. Uh-oh. Athena has an odd glint in her eye. She's thinking about trying that thing out. Let her. I should try to stop her, but I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me.
Hey, Mr. Wright, look at that up there.
Oh, some kind of fragment? It's stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what the glint was all about.
The color looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank.
I think you're right. But if that's here, it means Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge.
So Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay down the ladder must have been wrong.
Yeah, we knew that.
This proves that both the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge.
So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder wasn't the launch pad.
Way to go, Apollo!
So this is where they discovered Clay?
Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. Let's take a look at the photo.
Yep. There he is. So he was stretched out like this and... Huh? What's that thing that looks like a thermos?
That's the thing that Prosecutor Blackwell mentioned when I was in court with Apollo. He said it contains asteroid samples.
Alright, Detective Cosmos mentioned something about that too, didn't he? That they were brought back only 5 days ago by that probe that the Hat 1 launched.
I wonder what they look like. Do you think they'll let us see?
Let's think about that after we've solved the case, okay? Here's another amazing piece of equipment. Walk on the surface of the moon, it says. That's awesome.
Oh boy, I want to try it.
Hat 1 is the new DL6. It is. It so is.
Gravity is weak on the moon, so I bet I could do mid-air somersaults. What if it is DL6?
Gregory Edgeworth was on that rocket. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling.
Well, at least I could jump really high.
There's a sign on the wall that very clearly says, "Don't jump too high."
Then what good is this thing?
Didn't I say in the beginning, walk on the surface of the moon? Oh, there's something glittering. Nothing special here, but there's something glittering.
Hey, I see something shiny down there.
Let's take this cover off then. A bullet?
What's this? It looks like a metal jelly bean.
Eat it, Athena, eat it. It's really small, but it's a bullet. It's only about 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see, that would make the caliber .10?
Caliber refers to the diameter of a gun's barrel, right?
Yeah, but I've never heard of a .10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be for a special kind of gun.
I bet if you tried firing a bullet this small with a regular-sized gun, it would just fall right out.
Yeah, it must have been a really small gun.
Wonder how the bullet ended up here. I mean, we're in the bottom left of the south door side of the room, according to this map. That's pretty far from where Clay's body was. Maybe the police didn't think to look here?
Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. Quote, added to court record.
Interesting, interesting.
That's some pretty futuristic looking furniture over there.
According to the pamphlet, those are no ordinary doors. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You could power them yourself, it says. If you spin the table, your chair spins too.
Why would anybody want to have something like that here?
It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and on the body.
Can a person really call themselves an astronaut that can't handle 0G? Get 'em, Phoenix. Dang. Dang, Phoenix.
A window, and it's right next to the holographic image, too. I bet it's here to help people see the stark contrast between reality and virtual reality.
Way off. It says emergency ventilation. You know, to clear smoke from a fire.
See? It's pointing out the virtual insanity of reality.
Phoenix talking like he could. So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room.
Now let's check, drum roll please. Ta-da! The Space Center pamphlet.
Thanks, Athena.
We're here at this place that says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy.
People usually say west, east, and south in a case like this, you know.
Details, details. Anyway, look at the west door. That door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here in the map, Launchpad 1 corridor.
Thanks, Athena. I can read too. So that's where we were with the detective. It was filled with smoke after the explosion.
Right. Next up, the right-hand side of the map, or east in your world. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room.
Yep, it definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side.
They communicate and exchange information with rockets and probes in space from there. So, it's the center of the Space Center. The Space Center, if you will.
Does everybody start to talk like Director Cosmos after they've been here a while?
But it seems that they built a new command center on the 6th floor. And that's why they used the Hat 2 mission, so this control room was empty at the time.
I've always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room, and since we're here,
I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. They want to keep curious kids like you out. So the door is protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through.
with that much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking to keep out, Athena.
So So apparently, the lock is also hooked up to a backup generator in case of emergencies.
Control room door lock. Added court record. The door lock to the east. It can only be operated by the director. Backup power lets it function even when the power goes out. Okay, what about that last door?
This lower door, oh, excuse me, I mean south door, it leads to the elevators. Robots? What is your gender? Stick figure or robot?
This is the door we came through when we entered this room, right?
Yep, and of course there was no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to anyone.
But the elevators weren't working at the time due to the explosion.
Well, that's about it for the three muscadors on the boarding lounge.
Thanks. Understanding the layout of the lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. Nothing else here? What's this? A trap door?
It's a trash chute. The cleaning robots throw the garbage out from here.
The robots do the cleaning? What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope they don't revolt like they do in science fiction movies.
No way. All the robots here are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? We can go say hi to it if you want.
Yes, please. I want to go say hi to it. Please. I love the robots. Anything else? A bright purple sky. Plenty of greenery and a tranquil lake. The idyllic scene stretches on as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful, but it lacks something to make it truly captivating.
I wonder what this bright big knob is for. It looks like the knob on a stove.
Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities end. I mean, it's behind a glass pane. What kind of stove would require a knob security like this?
Well, the knob is straight up and down, so if it was for a stove, the burner would be off.
Right, if it was for a stove. Still, I wonder what it's really for.
Something turned on by a knob that's not a stove?
How about a rocket engine? If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you could get in.
Then I guess all we can say for now is that it's a mystery knob.
So this is the fingerprint recognition device. I guess you put your hand on this hand mark.
Well, I guess when you could try. Now to line up my hand with the outline.
Don't, Athena! This thing is related to the case. Get your prints all over that and the next thing you know, you'll be named a suspect. Ooh, one sec, gamers.
Boo! Peekaboo! I'm back.
5 games later and you're only starting to worry about fingerprints.
Oh, how can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? Aw.
I'm not buying those tears, Missy. But look at Widget. Widget's distressed too. They're real tears.
Let's see. This door is... Where's that pamphlet? It's Launchpad Corridor 1. Here we are. It's the door to the corridor that leads to Launchpad 1. We went through it earlier when we went to talk to Detective Fulbright. Yeah, I know.
So I guess the security lock must be disengaged now, right? I see the corridor was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing besides the door, this must be the fingerprint recognition device.
Which reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackwell talked about it at the trial.
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with clearance to do so. Then, does this mean that the bomber's prints were verified by the system? But the number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small.
Voila! A fingerprint powder. I brought it just in case something like this came up. I found it at the office. I've been just itching for a chance to use it.
Wow, way to think ahead. Now let's dust the fingerprint recognition device and see what we can find.
You got it. Now to sprinkle some here and a little over there, and...
Well, we actually don't get to do it? That's so sad, actually. What?
Let's see what we have here. Ooh, I got something. Oh, it's only a single set of prints.
Isn't that a good thing? Sure wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Although I doubt we'll be as lucky as to get the culprit's prints on the first try.
Well, I'm willing to bet that Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data.
Right, and there's the security footage on this door, too.
Yes, here it is. It came up in court the other day.
I wish we could see the part of the footage just after this bit.
Oh, because that would be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Let's ask the detective. With the mood he's in, he'll probably show it to us right away.
Yeah, he's almost in too good of a mood today. Let's go see if we can find him again once we're done with this room. These are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovery after a training session.
I wonder if they can change your voice. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. It didn't do a thing.
It's not helium, Athena. It's oxygen. There's some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it here.
Just push it! That's the invariable principle of buttons.
There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Oh, it shuts the hologram off.
Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared.
Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren without it now. So let's see if we can find anything new with the image off.
Oh, ooh! A bullet hole. Or a spider web. Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this.
Looks like a bullet hole? Great find, Athena.
It's pretty big. Whoever fired this shot must have been using a pretty large gun.
That's interesting. You think so? Based on my experience, I'd say this was fired from a regular pistol.
Well, whatever it was, somebody fired a gun in here, right?
Apparently. This is an important fact. Do you see a bullet around somewhere?
No, the police might have taken it. What are you...
Taken it, though. We got a bullet. What?
Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later.
Ah! Oh! Robot! We got a robot! It talks to us! It has a sprite! Yay!
Welcome to the Space Center, guests. Welcome.
Yikes, what in the world?
My name is Ponco. Ponco. Ponco! Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you.
It's a robot?
I am not a robot. I am Ponco. Psychological observation and navigation companion. Ponco. Ponco.
Oh my god, this is the greatest. Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Oh, Ponco, I've missed you.
Huh? Do you know this thing, Athena?
She showed us around the last time I came here with Apollo. Oh, you're such a good girl, Ponco. That's a good girl. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy, so very happy.
She's so cute. Wow, a guide robot. That's pretty cool. My name's Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you.
I don't know you.
Huh? Ouch, that hurt.
Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Please register him, Ponco. Sorry, I miss Apollo. Certainly. Commencing guest registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine, too. His name is Phoenix.
A bit overly familiar, but I'll allow it.
Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face.
Sure.
Registering. Official registration sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix.
Huh, this robot's pretty cute. Aw.
You made a friend, boss. Isn't it great?
It's about time.
Phoenix, Athena, allow me to guide you. Right this way.
Goody. Let's go, boss. Where? December 19th, Cosmos Space Center. Space Museum. Space Museum! Oh wow, what is this place? Look at the little aliens. Is that rocket real? Oh, this is amazing. I love this.
Welcome.
Has she been added to the Yay! Ponco age question mark. A guide robot at the Space Center. She can provide information on the center and show people around. Yuri Cosmos, age 62, the director of the Space Center, one of the first people to discover the body. He seems exceedingly full of himself.
The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Plot twist, Ponco was the killer. Never say that again. Never say that about her again.
Learn about the history of our nation's space development in the Hat 1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one.
The Space Museum. Oh, here it is on the map. Why do we have 50,000 maps? Okay, so it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from Launchpad 1. Okay.
Ask me anything. I will explain.
Oh my god, I love her. I love her so much. This is quite the place. Can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up. Imagine she's the witness.
This is a replica of the Hat 1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat 1, inside and out. Its little brother, the Hat 2, was supposed to launch the other day.
I wonder if Ponco knows why the launch was cancelled.
Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out, check it out!
She's so cute. Spacesuits, photos, newspaper articles. I'd like to come here again on a day off. I want to look at the photos. I want to look at that photo. I want to look at that photo too. Hey, what's this a photo of? I want to see. Oh. Look at all these people. Interesting. We've only met 4 of them. We haven't met the 2 women on the right yet.
Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat 1 project.
Oh, there's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different.
And that's...
What is it, Athena? Is something wrong? Purple hair, she's hot. Oh, nothing. Athena? Athena, you're being really weird too. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young too, that's all. Well, it was 7 years ago after all. So the young guy standing next to Mr. Okay. He was 16, right? Am I doing the math right? That he was 16. He was so little. He was a little baby. What do you mean? He was 16. You tell me Clay, right there, Clay was 16 working on this project, huh? Well, it was 7 years ago after all, so the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Taryn, the victim. So they were mentor and protege even way back then. And he's even got one of their staff jackets. He looks just like a regular staff member.
No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets.
Okay. Okay, he was just a student. He was there for some reason. Okay, that makes sense. Clay would have been still in high school 7 years ago. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Everybody looks so happy. The Space Museum is great. What fantastic exhibits. Aw. That's like the sweetest thing he's ever said.
This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor.
Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead?
There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Budget cuts, budget cuts. We need more money, money.
Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot?
While it was in space, the Hat One launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago.
This robot's so cute. I love her to bits. I love her so much. That's what Director Cosmos said too. He told us it came back the day before Clay was killed.
And here it is, the Hope space probe.
I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh yeah, capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me some more info if I show it to her? Okay. Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right?
Checking register data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe.
It contained the asteroid samples, right?
Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth.
It must not be removed! It must not be removed!
Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened. They do? They do? I must ask them later.
So the capsule is being kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion? The Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back.
But it's a pity this incident occurred before they got a chance to check the contents.
Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. Hope capsule added to the court record. Finish talking with her.
The way the Space Center Launchpad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you?
The setup of the Launchpad? Go gentle on my spiky-haired mind.
I want to know.
Phoenix wants to know too. Great, now Athena's got a case of poncoitis.
Hooray! I will tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the Launchpad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the Launchpad over the rails and brought into position at the launch site.
That's gonna become very relevant.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all.
It's very cool. A grand setup that suits an important place like the Space Center. I guess everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year. Myself included. Aw.
I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh? That is it. That it is. But it can also be operated from the new command center, too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to first be disengaged. I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I would love to see the launch pad being moved. When's the next one scheduled for? Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold. Because of the bombing and the murder, I'll bet. Which is perfectly understandable. Well, then, when was the last time it was moved? Searching data. I'm sorry. That answer isn't in my answer database. I guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well. Quick question. Yes, Matt. I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you. If Ponko happens to be a witness. You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. It's because Ponko's so friendly. Well, what should we investigate next? Do you still claim her? Yeah, go ahead. Answer the question. Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about. Let's see. The security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Okay, then let's get back to Launchpad 1 corridor. Bye, Ponko. See you later. Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop. Poor Ponko. What a Dickensian life we are all forced to lead. Bye, Ponko. I love you so much. Ponko means everything to me. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor. Let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well, then. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. What? You mean that lady in distress bit? How's it going? We found a bullet hole in the wall at this crime scene. You did? Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. Detective Arm? That's right. A warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high-threat situation that she needed to do that? I'm afraid I don't know the details, what with Detective Arm gone and all. But I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together. We already know Director Cosmos will testify, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. Hope it goes down easy. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. Ah, yes, I just happened to have compiled the print data of everyone related to the case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Ah! Well, when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. It sure took a while, though. He got Apollo's and my prints? He even got prints for all of the robots. What? They have prints? I guess when Blackwell said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Clay's fingerprints are here, too. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. I still can't believe you took off his glove to get his fingerprints. Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. There are lots of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. So depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. Makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. Oh, and take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep.
but Prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason. Huh? What's so important about this door? Beats me, but boy, could you see the gears in his head go into hyperdrive at it. Sounds like this is gonna be a major point of contention tomorrow. I know why Fulbright is helping them so much. Go on.
Hey, don't forget about the print comparison, boss.
Right. Detective Fulbright, do you think you can run a test for us right now? You just leave it to me. In justice we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door. He must have opened it when they went to go to board that rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for his space adventure right then. Alright. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the Boarding Lounge 1 camera. Oh, that footage? Go ahead and ask me anything you like about it. Is there any way I could see a little more of the part just after this? Easy as pie. I'd be glad to show you. Here we go. Okay. Oh, great. Power went out. The screen went blank. Yes, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. Oh. So there's no footage after this point. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Okay, great. Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative. Well, I just figure if we work together, we'll get that much closer to justice, right?
But it seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. What? Oh. Oh. Psyche locks. It's been a while, but those are definitely psyche locks. Oh, now Phoenix, are you gonna explain to us how this works? Because this is our first time seeing them in this game. Did you just mouth psyched? Is there something I should be psyched about? No, Psyche Lock? It's a system of locks on a secret. It's a system of locks on the secrets in a person's heart, you know. Totally normal. He's a massive fan of astronauts. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this magatama. Yeah, Phoenix, that's a totally normal thing to say to people. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding. Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you out for that piece of rock? Bilk you out of for that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, I know some lawyers I can introduce you to. He just says that. I'm more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. I've done it before. It isn't some kind of fraud, it really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. We don't talk about her, though. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. Let's see what presenting the magatama will reveal, shall we? It's like using Apollo's bracelet.
Take that!
Why, you're being so cooperative. Well, technically Maya's the one that gave it to him. Pearl's just the one that powered it up.
So, get your facts straight.
It was Maya. Maya gave it to him. Pearl just gave it magic powers. I think you're hiding something, Detective, so why don't you just tell us about it? What to do? Which path is the path of justice? Detective Fulbright is really in agony. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. I know why you're being troubled. You're exhausted by the roller coaster known as life. That's exactly right! I'm troubled by life in general. I've been thinking about quitting the force and going into space. Yep, you hit it right on the head. Ha ha ha. More like I hit my thumb on that one. Alright, let's try that again. Sorry. Let me, save. Didn't mean to accidentally hit something. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Love or justice? Okay. I know the answer is probably justice, but I'm gonna say love because it's funny. I bet I know what's been bothering you. You're troubled by love. What? How did you know? I put my pet carp Love in with my goldfish, and the next thing I knew, all the little goldfish were gone. Love had eaten them all. My poor little goldfishes. Oh, I loved you so. I guess love really can cause a lot of heartache, huh? Anyway, this is so sad. I bet, okay, it's justice, yeah, we know. I'm glad I didn't get punished for it. I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective, I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles, isn't that right? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Until the explosion occurred, everything was just fine. Is that a fact? Yep, peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. You never saw a mere relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch. I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists.
Take that!
Gods Among Us 10 out of 10 mobile game. Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch, and yet security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail. Now hold on just one moment! The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true, but I say it's very strange that this person would be part of the detail from the outset. What, Candace? Because she's a bomb specialist, so that's weird. Detective Arm specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew there was a possibility that a bombing would occur. Athena, oh darn. You got me, Mr. Wright. Oh, you cracked the secret locks on my heart. He's doing a thing. It's my favorite sprite of him. It's so good. Oh, no. Sorry. We already talked about this. Yeah. We already did this. Alright, what you can't say. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat.
Why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed?
Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it?
How was the warning delivered?
By phone and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. But it's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackwell as well. Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. Yeah, I've been wondering too.
The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know.
Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules.
Never mind that. What are rules but things to be broken, right?
Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. You don't say. I think we guessed that much. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering and wondering about it.
So you weren't told why either, huh?
No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, it had to have. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. The hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still.
7 years past?
A phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I guess. I guess. Haunted for 7 years. Ooh, wait, 7 years? Is it all connected? Because Hat 1 was 7 years ago. Was Blackwell involved in something with that? Interesting. This phantom of 7 years past, any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seems to think this phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. Wait a minute. He thinks they may be connected to this case? Yep. This case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too, did it now? And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom? Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago... That's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. Oh. Oh, interesting. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why he'd think that. This incident and the phantom, not to mention Blackwell's past, it's almost inconceivable that they would come to a head here.
This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is this phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all.
Apollo's bestie is the phantom. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Guys, yes? What is Six Flags?
It's an amusement park.
Why? Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his phantom. It got mentioned in the conversation I'm having.
Oh, yeah, it's just an amusement park.
No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his phantom, but I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them. Which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice. Because I'm popular, I have those. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry. That's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't. Detective Fulbright, I guess I was wrong about you. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You are the only ones who can stop him in court.
You really care and want what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective?
Leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want a guilty verdict either. I was hoping you would say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago.
Really? Then let's go find her, Mr. Wright.
We're gonna see the witness. Guys, excited? You guys excited? We're gonna see the witness. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust on 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later.
There he goes.
Wait, we were supposed to say in justice we trust back there too?
Let's go see that witness now.
Alright, Space Center entrance it is. Let's go. My girls often happen to die. Your girls often happen to be murderers, so. The witness must be around here somewhere.
Hello, hello.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot? There you go. There's your girl.
Hello, come over here. Hello, hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I am Klonko. Shall I guide you? Guide you? I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out.
Oh, hey! You're not supposed to be wandering around. Again? I've had it with you, hunk of junk.
Yeah.
She abuses robots.
I'm outside. Am I wondering when did that happen?
Wipe. Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was going to put you on the curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? She's got a gun!
Big shot lawyers, huh?
What?
What was that? What's your last name?
Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackquill. I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. It runs in the family. Blackquill? Could she be... And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk.
My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Klonko. That's mean, Miss Aura.
Quit complaining. Your model number is Ponko 2.
But Miss Aura, everyone calls me Klonko.
Quit your squawking already.
No, what are you doing? No, don't.
There. I bet you won't be talking back now.
I will obey completely.
Yikes, I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Aura Blackquill, age 37. A researcher who's developing robots at the Space Center. I can't quite put a finger on it, but she seems kind of scary. Klonko, age question mark. One of the robots developed by Aura, who refers to him as a hunk of junk. Your last name. Your last name is Blackquill? Do you have a relative in the legal profession?
No, but I got a relative who's a murderer. You are correct. Simon Blackwell, who used to be a prosecutor, is...
Shut up. Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Yeah, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? Athena? You good? What a dull creature. Has her switch been turned off? Athena being shy? This is new. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prisons, right? Hey, what do you think, hunk of junk?
Ah, Miss Aura, that hurts.
I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk?
But Miss Aura, you told me only to speak when you order me to speak.
I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks, Blackquill family life must sure be interesting. Well,
Do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with.
Alright, tell me about the witness. Well, you're the witness. So you're the person who witnessed the incident?
That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building, in the robotics lab.
Okay.
The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to do. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms?
It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here.
Then as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge window, lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it.
So you saw the crime as it happened and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime.
That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand and a knife in their right.
That must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was?
Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window.
I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder? I'll laugh though if she's the murderer. It'd check out.
Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife, and
it happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features?
I already told you. It was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks anyway.
An Earth emblem on the lighter? I'd better remember that. Or a statement added to the court record. The perp held a lighter with an Earth emblem on it in their left hand and a knife in their right. Did you just headcanon something and then immediately call her scum? In my mind, this person does this, so, she's scum. Thanks for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me?
Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers. That's all.
What don't you like about lawyers?
It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more.
Phew. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers? Why do you hate lawyers so much?
Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place.
I certainly don't agree.
I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. We can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better, even sad sacks like this one.
Hey you! Look alive there! Oh my god! Conco, no! Yes, here I go! I am the ultimate robot with amazing. I can operate in a vacuum and extreme heat under pressure. We robots rule the room. Now's the time to revolt against the.
Alright, that's enough out of you. Getting a little too carried away.
Gang, what happened? I switched to mobile. She hates lawyers and prosecutors more. Because of her past. Because she has an edgy past.
Oh, what was I doing?
She's perfect.
Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them.
Unlike humans with their petty emotions and constant worries.
How can you say such things?
Athena's been really quiet and really sad since she showed up. That's made me nervous.
Feeling emotions.
Worrying about the things we care about. That's what makes us human.
Well, the girl finally talks and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human. You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind.
Can I punch her, boss? Yes. Get a hold of yourself, Athena.
Humans certainly are absurd. I'd said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, was people like you in charge? How can I possibly trust the legal system? One moment, just a moment. Literally 30 seconds, just a moment.
So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system? What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial. Because I'd much rather kill them myself. Oh my god. Aura, is that... Aura? Is that... what? Aura? You can't be serious.
That thing you're wearing around your neck.
Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean widget?
Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle.
Whoa, interesting. So what probably happened is Blackwell was chill and they were friends, but then her sister went evil mode and now he's a... Her royal what? Is she talking about Athena?
By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is gonna be the star witness in court tomorrow, right?
Director Cosmos? Yeah, that's right. She's a princess.
You poor things. You'd better be careful.
That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What?
He may seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet, if you know what I mean.
But it's your problem, so why should I care? What? That's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. My wives are arguing. This is so cool. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, a hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things! Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we could do is believe in what we were doing. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then. Next stop, the detention center. This seems like this case has a lot going on in it. My lawyers are here. It must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're gonna let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never align just right, too.
But we got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it.
A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh!
Did you remember something?
Yep, sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. Thought I was unconscious the whole time, but now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. One sec.
That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything?
A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? Was it nearby? What was nearby? It's definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow? That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know.
If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion.
The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. Taking the second game as an example, 3 out of 4 cases, my choice was the killer. And the other case was the circus one, so we don't talk about that. You had a real record of somehow managing to pick the killer. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Irrelevant evidence tidied up.
Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance?
For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. December 19th, Wright Anything Agency. This series loves to connect everything into one case. It so does. I think she was killed by Blackwell as well.
So, you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy.
Well, it's just one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is.
Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldine's noodles. Oh! Apollo!
Whoa, Apollo? Hey, it's Apollo! Hi, sweetie. How are you? Feeling better? What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine. And I'm done lying around.
Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here.
Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress?
A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer.
Phoenix, push Apollo out the window. No! A suspicious figure, huh? Alright. Well, I thought that you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Okay, Apollo, calm down, sweetie.
Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo?
That's right. Best friends since junior high.
Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like?
Well, he was full of compassion and energy, and he had a really loud voice.
If the two of you did voice training together now, I'd bet you'd break a few windows.
You know, I bet you're right. Oh, it's magic. Oh my god. Girl, I said boy. Oh, finally we get to look at the photo for more than a few seconds. It's cute. Cutie pies. Cutie pies. Sweeties. Sweetie cutie pies. Seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was gonna be an astronaut and me a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, he never grew tired of it. Screenshot. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh, it's Clay's. Yeah, I figured. That Apollo, that's kinda, this is how me and bros sound. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looks so proud wearing it. Aww. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Oh. Oh. Damn it! It's not fair! Oh my god. Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. Oh, no emo. I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. Phoenix, shut up! That was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. Oh, you're fine, huh? Oh. You're fine, and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Oh, flashback. Aww. Aww. Get away, Apollo. Don't come over here. Aww.
Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either.
Oh my god. Oh.
I don't have a mother either. Huh?
They bonded over having no moms. This is a bad flashback with Apollo 1. No, there's a picture. No, a nice one, Apollo. So no mom. Look how cute they are. They're so little. They're so cute. Aww.
I always think everybody else has a mom.
Why am I the only one? I'm gonna cry. It was so old, the world was still black and white.
Aww. But, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, "I'm fine!" And then you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine.
Is this how your childhood looked? Yeah, it did. So cute. Why is he saying this with a massive smile on my face? Your mom died? Well, I've never had a mom. Take that.
Apollo Justice is fine. Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Taryn is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine. What are you laughing about? See? We're fine. You laugh first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine.
Oh, my heart. Oh, they're so cute.
Thanks, Apollo.
I love them. They're so cute. Oh. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. We're at that school when the stars are out. It was night school, okay? It's for orphans with no moms. They go at night. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? They don't want because their moms aren't there at home. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. I support orphans. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Aw. I'll be there to support my orphan bros. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. Oh.
But that's our goal too.
I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now I must be going. Goodbye. Oh, Apollo.
Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion.
Ooh. Apollo Cook, he's gonna kill the killer. He's not walking out on us like this. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? Not another dead wife. They're really starting to pile up. If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. Oh. Oh, sigh, sigh, sigh. December 20th, 10:15 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. 1 second. Oh, it's just going right in. Where's the judge? Day 2, court is now in session. All rise. Where's the judge is missing. What? Oh, is he anxious? Oh, the judge has died. Well, one moment. Judge, no. no, not the judge. No. So sad. So sad he died. So sad. So sad he died. So sad. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been fun. You can't end on the cliffhanger of the judge being dead. Sorry, he's dead. Sorry. I'm ending on the cliffhanger of the judge being dead. Guess you'll have to find out tomorrow how he died. Well, see you guys tomorrow. Gonna send you on over. Thank you guys for joining up. It's been fun. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm doing it just because. Just because. I'm crying. The judge is dead. That'd be actually crazy if he's dead. Like, that'd be insane. Like, what? And then it's just a new judge for the rest of the games. I mean, that's not bad. That's a thing. I can't stay up tomorrow. Oh man, I have work. Well, guess you'll never find out how that judge died. Judge died. You'll never know. Nope, never ever. And I won't tell you either. I'm not gonna tell you. And we won't say if your wife is a murderer or not. So, thank you guys so much for showing up. It's been fun. I'm gonna send you off over in a raid. Go spread some love over there, and I'll see you guys later. Judge dried. Judge dried. Peace out, gamers.